Hey, what's cooking, people? And welcome to another episode of MC Eats Life. That's right, there is no food. Oh, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I had a McFlurry, good old mud pie McFlurry, pretty delicious, and I've got a drink because it's hot. So I'm here down at East Coast Park today, just behind McDonald's down there, and I'm not expecting to see much in the way of wildlife, but it's been a long time since we've been down here. Particularly, it's been a long time since we've been down here on a weekday. I can't even think when that might have been, maybe last August perhaps. So yeah, it's absolutely scorching today. It's really hot. I'm sat in the full sun. I'm going to be burnt to a crisp, but it's worth it to get to see the sea and to talk to you guys on here. So let me take the camera and pan it round, and you can see what I can see. So I've got a lovely little spot here on a bench by the beach, looking out over all the container ships. I mean, there's a hint of the Solent in the UK about this bit, especially with the island in the distance. It reminds me a bit of the Isle of Wight, but not quite so many cargo ships in the bit of the Solent that I used to go to. But as you can see, beautiful sunny day, some clouds over in the distance, and there's a few people here. It's not deserted today. I mean, it is school holidays for the international school children. Hopefully though we can see some wildlife, and if not, we can see some pretty beachy scenery. As the name suggests, East Coast Park is on the east coast. It's kind of southeast of the island, and it runs for a long old stretch, and there's beach most of the way along. It's very popular with families, particularly at the weekend, where you come down and have a swim or ride bikes up and down the sort of the promenade. You can rent bikes as well. It's a very nice place. There's a wakeboarding sort of lake as well, a skate park down here. It's got a hawker centre or two. There's a McDonald's just around there, as you know from my McFlurry a minute ago. But I'm here today too. It's like on a weekend, and that's the interesting bit for me. And there's a gym pod. These are kind of dotted all over the place. You find them in random car parks, and here, this is a bit less random. I think it's fairly random that it's 24 hours. I can't imagine waking up in the middle of the night and thinking, oh my goodness, I need to get to the gym. It looks like this one might still be open. I was surprised because I thought all gyms are closed, but I suppose you could get this to yourself, couldn't you? And then it's probably COVID safe. As I said, I'm not expecting to see a great deal of wildlife today. I've seen some crows so far, but you never know. Wildlife can appear in the most unlikely of places. And knowing my luck, it'll be walking along here and there'll be a snake or something, probably just after my batteries died. But so you can see it's quiet and it's quite peaceful, with the odd cyclist going past and then the lapping of waves up onto the beach. But any kind of seating area that people could gather at has been cordoned off. But individual seats are open though. At least they've allowed those to remain open. Otherwise it'd be a bit bleak, wouldn't it, if you couldn't eat outside or sit down here at any point. Not many people out for a swim though. Over there you can see a Go Cycling bike rental. There's a few of those dotted along here, I believe. I think it's fairly expensive, and I think certainly at weekends you can get well, maybe you can't at the moment because of COVID, but you can get the big kind of 4-seater or 6-seater bike things, and then riding up and down. It's quite pleasant. Plenty of places to go to the toilet and get drinks as well, which is handy. There are campsites dotted along as well, which are all closed at the moment. And we've got the canal running through the park here, which then comes out at the sea over there. We'll wander over and see what we can see. You get quite a nice view of the beach and the sea from up on this little bit where the canal comes out, and you can see some of the fish swimming in the water down there as well. Which probably explains why there's quite a few fishermen at the end of here out doing their fishing. You can see all the way down there how far the beach goes down. So here you've got where the canal is coming out and it's meeting the sea. And there's the view down the other way where we've walked from already. It's a nice cool breeze in the air. And you can see down here, kind of unsurprisingly, you've got a lot of the rubbish and bits of plastic that have washed up Costa del Singapore. It's very artificial and man-made, this, but at least it's going to give us the chance of seeing some wildlife other than crows. Do you reckon? Normally in water like this, you can at least see a turtle. No, nothing so far. It's a hot day today, so I'm going to sit in the shade, and perhaps if I just sit quietly, we might see some lizards or turtles or something like that. Find a seat in the shade. Whew. So I managed to find myself a little seat in the shade, and I'll just sit here now, enjoy that cool breeze, and see if we can spot anything out on the water here. You see the odd ripple and some dragonflies. Let's see what else we can find. One of our favourite animals that we see all the time on MC Eats Life is the squirrel. And today is the kind of day we'll take a squirrel, because we haven't seen much else. These two are very cute. There's one playing in this tree here, foraging for something, and then the other one looks like he's doing some pruning. There you go, just on the tree trunk over there, flipping his tail. I think it'd be quite a fun place to be a squirrel, wouldn't it, around here? This strip of restaurants here gives you a good kind of idea of what it's like currently in Singapore. If you're not here at the moment, those places are normally packed. I mean, I've not been there on a Monday lunchtime, but they're normally lots of tables, people milling about, and it's deserted. Looking over there, you can tell by these nationalist style Singaporean flags that it's windy, but yeah, it looks like there's a storm coming in, doesn't it? It'll be exciting. I have actually got an umbrella with me today, so hopefully it'll be okay. I mean, it doesn't look particularly great in any direction. There's a bit of blue sky up there. Hopefully, if it's the kind of rain, if it just comes straight down, hits the umbrella, I'm okay. If it comes sideways at me, we're going to get slightly wet, because I'm not even halfway on my walk yet, and I'm going to keep on going. At least it seems the wakeboarding's still open. That hasn't been closed, which is something. So this is the wakeboarding sort of lake. It's often quite busy, and then you've got a restaurant in there which we've been to a couple of times, and it's quite nice. And again, it's normally quite busy, but can't be open at the moment. It's quite fun. It's quite nice weather for it today. A bit of the cloud cover now. That's number 4. Let's go in. Oh, he's not gone for that one. Thought he was going to go for a jump. He's got the long walk back, haven't you, if you fall off? It doesn't seem like fun to me. So this is the hawker centre that's down here on East Coast Park, and I can't help but feel quite sorry for them because it was closed for a time before Christmas, I think, last year, at least for like 2 or 3 months, and they've done it up and they've beautified it. It looks lovely, but then it's opened, and I think it was open for about a month or something before all these new restrictions have come in, and it can't be open again. So I mean, it's open for takeaways, but it's not quite the same. A real shame for the hawkers there. Over there's the skate park. I'm not sure if it's open at the moment. Oh, maybe it is. There's a couple. Well, they don't like that skating, do they? Maybe it's closed. Maybe it's closed because of COVID, or is it closed because they're doing works on it? Is it just quiet because it's a Monday? I'm not sure. That's like a 1960s abandoned shopping centre car park. Storm clouds are definitely gradually coming over. It's looking very dark over there, in just the very direction that I'm walking in. Oh, and we're getting some rumbles of thunder as well. This is exciting. It's not quite the kind of nature I was expecting, but I like a good storm. Just seen some quite big lightning forks over there above the ships. I'm going to head out to this little pier. Oh, you might be able to hear that thunder. I'm going to head out up this pier and see what we can see from there. We might be able to get a good view of the storm coming in, and that will make up for the lack of wildlife. Emptying their little fish into the bucket. It's quite nice sitting here watching the fishermen, the fisher people do their job. Plane going out through the storm clouds. The storm clouds are kind of spread across now. Maybe we will avoid the worst of it. A bit hazy over the city. Just about see Marina Bay Sands on the wheel. And then somewhat closer we've got the building works on the beach. I really don't know what the weather's going to do. I don't know whether we're going to get hit by a storm or it's all just going to pass. Looking much clearer there over that way now than it was. But then there's dark clouds up here gathering. You probably can't hear them. You certainly won't be able to see them, I don't think, but there's some, I think the parakeets are shouting about something, probably about the storm that's coming. There's one in this tree and there's about 10 in the other, but the other ones were just a bit too high up in the tree to be able to see. Absolutely beautiful birds. It's not a parakeet, is it? I need to look it up when I get home. I don't think they're particularly rare. I think they hang out in these kinds of trees, this part of the park, fairly regularly, but still beautiful though. It's kind of the closest you get here that I see regularly of those sort of South American beautiful, colourful parrots and things that I kind of assumed would be there in every hot country. Don't know if you can tell on the video, but the wind is certainly picking up. I think the rain is going to hit any minute now. That might be why they were chirping so much. I hope they'll be okay. I'm sure they will. They'll be used to it, won't they? At least it's not as hot as it was when I walked all the way here. Let's just walk all the way back and see what we find. You probably can't see it or hear it. There's quite an obvious That woodpecker noise. I think it's coming from up there. That little bird. Is it a woodpecker? It seems to be very happy banging its beak into the wood. Giving us a nice view. Beautiful bird. Noisy. Some big raindrops are starting to fall, and it's going to be crunch time in a minute. We're going to find out whether I've packed a sunbrella or an umbrella. I'm hoping for my sake that it's an umbrella, not a sunbrella today. Still hard to tell how much rain's actually going to come down. It's not as dark as it looked over the sea, but you never can tell. It can hit hard and fast. Wow, the umbrella's out for the first time on MC Eats Life. Let's just see what the next few minutes are going to bring with the weather. It's exciting. And they're still out there doing their wakeboarding, so it can't be too bad. But I suppose they're soaking wet already, aren't they? So hello there, Mr. and Mrs. Hornbill. Quite happily just hanging out up there. We're just at the next to the wakeboarding park at the moment. They were just terrorising some crows a few minutes ago. I've not managed to see them this close for a while. Oh, just going over there. See that one, zoom in on that one's bottom. I wonder what they make of the storm. Wow, that makes up for some of the lack of wildlife today, isn't it? Seeing that beautiful, colourful bird, and then the hornbills. The crows didn't like them, that's for sure. Well, we're almost back to where we started from in East Coast Park, and it looks like we've avoided the worst of the rain. We've just got a tiny splattering. In the end, I think we possibly saw more than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting to see some hornbills today, so that was nice. And then the kind of colourful birds that I need to look up what they are. They were beautiful as well. So, and I think we've been lucky. We've had a mixture of the scorching sunshine and the heat, and now it's much cooler with a bit of a breeze and overcast, and that's also quite nice for a change. So it's been maybe not the most exciting episode, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed my walk. If you've liked this video, please do click the like button, do subscribe, do click the little bell, leave me a little comment down below, tell me where I should go next in Singapore. If you're not here in Singapore, where do you want to see what it's like in COVID times, and I'll go and explore it and find it out. Ooh. Squirrels playing. So I think that's just about it for today. Until the next episode, thank you very much for joining me, and stay full.